celebrate Star Wars Day.
Woo!
Last panel was Star Wars Day. The next panel, Star Wars Day.
Yeah.
And I know since you guys are fans of the expanded universe, readers, you're detail-oriented, you're going to have a ton of questions. So we are going to open this up to questions and have a lot of room for it. So we're going to start off with each publisher doing a brief presentation as to what's coming up next, and then we're going to really just open it up to questions. So who are we? I'm Pablo Hidalgo. I'm your moderator. Big fan of the EU, and we've got a book coming out later this year that we're going to talk about. Immediately to my left, we've got from Dark Horse Comics, we've got editors Randy Stradley and Dave Marshall. In between our Dark Horse and our Del Rey contingent, she bridges both worlds on the Lucas Books side of things, is editor Heddle. Next to her, we have author Troy Denning. Of course, he wrote this year's Apocalypse, which is it's a great title for a book coming out in 2012.
Was that intentional?
And next to Troy, we have from editors from Del Rey, we have Frank Parisi. And Erich Schoeneweiss. I'm just going to start this off with on the Dark Horse side of things. Let us know what's coming up, Randy.
All right. Well, first of all, I apologize because, genius that I am, I left all of our images in my hotel room. So we're just going to tell you about great stuff. But all of this is coming up, and most of it will be appearing in Diamond Previews very shortly, I'm sure. First thing we want to talk about, and you've already seen this in Diamond Previews, and if you haven't, there's an 8-foot tall Darth Maul face in the Dark Horse booth from a painting by Dave Dorman. But it's Darth Maul Death Sentence. And it's a 4-issue miniseries in which kind of bridges the gap between seasons 4 and seasons 5 of Clone Wars. Darth Maul, as you remember from the end of Clone Wars, has been kind of resurrected and repaired, and he and his brother Savage Opress are out running around causing mayhem, and they discover in Death Sentence that they killed somebody close to this powerful man and just put a price on their head. So they decide the best way to remove the price from their head is go kill him and his army. So mayhem ensues. That's written by Tom Taylor, late of Invasion, and the art is by, I'm going to forget his last name now, Bruno. Anybody know what Bruno's last name is? He's an artist new to Dark Horse, brought to us by Tom. His stuff is really nice, really sharp, and that starts next month, or later this month, actually.
So coming up next month is a series that actually ties directly into things that Del Rey is doing. It's Lost Tribe of the Sith, Spiral.
Wow.
So for those of you that have been following the ebooks, and as you probably all know, there's a print collection of all those ebooks coming out this month, and includes a whole new novella. So Lost Tribe of the Sith Spiral is a totally new story in the Lost Tribe world. So for any of you that aren't familiar with it, it's basically generations and generations ago, some Sith crashed on this planet, and they haven't been able to get off, so they're isolated here, and they've had to develop their own society, and you can imagine the complexities and challenges of that, having them all be Sith. So in our story, we're gonna reintroduce the Lost Tribe, or this particular generation, and also the native peoples of the planet that enslaved or, worked with and subjugated. Yes, and as the Sith do. And there's going to be lots of betrayal and backstabbing and also adventures to far off places on the planet where they're going to find that actually they are not the only Force users on this planet after all, and that's going to present some very unique challenges. So yeah, that's a 5-issue series, and that launches next month. Written by John Jackson Miller, who of course wrote the you may also know John from the Knight Errant novel, Knight Errant comics, Knights of the Old Republic. So yeah, we're really glad to be doing a new series with him. So definitely watch it.
I could just add, if you're not familiar with Lost Tribes of the Sith, one of the really cool things about it is that it takes place on this planet where, due to, the raw materials that they can work with, there isn't much technology. So, especially to see it visually is really awesome. I mean, you basically have these Sith, on these ships and this, kind of like almost steampunk looking world. So it's this really new milieu for Star Wars, and it's just really exciting and visually something you really haven't seen before.
Next up is Agent of the Empire that comes back in, I believe it's October, written by John Ostrander. This time out, Davide Fabri is drawing the story. Stefan Roux is providing the covers still. And I don't want to give too much away about the story, but Leia makes an appearance or two. Boba Fett makes a significant appearance, and it has to do with the assassination of Count Dooku. I'll let you ponder that. Then in November, Dawn of the Jedi returns with the Prisoner of Bogan. Is the continuing pretty much where the last series left off. John Ostrander and Jan Duursema are telling the story of this mysterious outsider, Zesh, who has come to the Tython system and encountered the Jedi, and they in turn have realized that this guy is a really powerful Force user, but he's primarily dark side. And it's I don't want to say it's a coming of age story, but it's a coming of age story with massive Force powers. And anyway, I don't know if you're following the series, but it's this one will get off of Tython and we'll actually see most of the other planets in the Tython system by this time the story is ended. The last thing, it's a book we just announced on Tuesday. We struggled to come up with a title, and we finally settled on just plain old Star Wars. Author Brian Wood was
Thank you.
apparently somebody's heard of him. He's written stuff for Marvel. He's done his own creator-owned series. He's been writing Conan for us, and when we first talked to him about Star Wars, you could tell he was like just jumping out of his skin. He was so excited. So he is picking up the adventures of the core characters: Luke, Leia, Han, Chewie, and some guy named Vader. And this pretty much takes place shortly after the destruction of the Death Star. It's going to be completely casual, reader friendly. We're not going to bog people down with dense continuity. If you've only ever seen the movies, you know everything you need to come into this series. And he's really, I think, doing some stuff that it's obvious that you know, that it's there, but nobody has ever taken the time to do it. Like, for instance, Leia has lost her home world and her whole family, and she hasn't had a moment to grieve over that loss. She's, you know, been burdened with the, you know, running the rebellion and being on the run, and, you know, bottling up all that grief and all that emotion. What does that do to a person? How does that affect him? And then with Luke, he's, you know, yeah, he's the guy who blew up the Death Star, but he's still really just a farm boy. And here he is, people looking to him for, you know, what do we do in the next step of the rebellion, or how do we take care of this? And also he's become a hero when really he was, you know, if you come right down to it, he's really kind of lucky. He had the Force on his side, but there was luck too. So he's, you know, he's going to be dealing with, you know, his own questions of can he do it, or, you know, should he really step into this role of hero? Anyway, it's a new ongoing series, starts in January. Interior art is by Carlos Tianda, who's downstairs in Artist Alley. If you want to seek him out, great guy. He is, you know, so often when I talk to people about drawing Star Wars, comic artists are like, man, yeah, I guess I could do that. Carlos was like, are you kidding me? I get to draw Star Wars? So I'm really looking forward to this series. What else about it? Oh yeah, Alex Ross is doing the covers.